Yo, what is going on everyone? Guiding Light here back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be going over the best settings for the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. So if you're running on a controller and you have a Xbox or PlayStation, I'm going to show you guys the best settings to run. So to get started, what you want to do is go on into controller, and what we're going to do is, first off, we're going to turn off vibrations. After that, you want to go ahead and turn trigger effects to off. If you are on PlayStation 5, you want to keep this off. It's actually going to, in my opinion, make it harder to shoot. So after that, you're going to change your sensitivity to whatever it is you please. I'm not going to tell you what's better or not for you because it's definitely going to be different for everyone. After that, the multiplier, I just leave that alone. For the sensitivity multiplier, I don't even really touch that at all. But when we go into vertical aim access and certain other settings, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make the aiming settings a little bit better. So I'm definitely not going to touch any of the gameplay settings because of the automatic sprint, but if you want to turn that stuff on, you can. It's really just up to you for that stuff. Now, if you go into advanced, I do suggest changing a few things in here. You're going to be able to actually change the aim assist type from default to one of these other modes. I personally just go ahead and put it on Black Ops, but if you want to use some of these other ones, you can, but it's really up to you. Now, on top of that, what you can do is go into the aiming response curve, and I change it from standard to linear, but it really just depends on you. I personally was on standard for a while, and then after changing it to linear, I liked it a lot better. But I guess you can just give it time with each setting and figure out which one works best for you. After that, you want to go to ADS sensitivity transitioning timing, and I'm going to turn that to instant so that it immediately kicks in when aiming down sights. After that, you can change your dead zones and stuff like that. Like if you have stick drift, you can actually mess with these dead zones and actually counter the stick drift and get rid of it. But if there's nothing wrong with your controller, I would just leave that alone. After that, we have certain things like the double tap behaviors to sprint. So if you want to only have to tap once instead of twice, you can actually turn that on. I honestly kind of suggest that because you don't want to wear down your controller, and that second tap is definitely going to do that. After that, you can go into some mantling settings and stuff like that, but I just use these default ones for all of those. So those are pretty much all the controller settings you're going to need. After that, you want to go into graphics though. And what you're going to want to do is turn off motion blur and turn off weapon motion blur. On top of that, in these settings, you're going to see a 120 hertz setting. So if you have a 120 hertz monitor, you're going to want to turn that setting on. You're going to see that in that list right here. So turn on 120 FPS when you're in the graphics settings. Also, be sure to turn your film grain down to 0. It's going to actually make the game a lot more clear. And the reason we turn off motion blur is so that you can actually see a lot better when you're in the game. So I don't know why that's even a setting, to be fair. But yeah, I definitely don't want to have blur on my weapon. You don't want to have motion blur at all. So go ahead and turn that off. Now, after that, you're going to go down to the field of view. If you have this slider, I suggest putting it on about 110. It does go up to 120, so it's really up to you. If you have a really big monitor or something like that, you might want to go up higher, but personally, I just leave it on 110. And then after that, you can mess with your brightness in your save area to make those settings better. So that's pretty much it for graphics. After that, go down to audio. I highly suggest messing with these audio mixes because it really does make a big difference, especially if you have headphones on. So test some of these out and pick whichever one you want. After that, I also suggest turning the music down to all the way to 0. I do this in all of the multiplayer games I play because the music really does get in the way, and you'll notice once you turn your music off that you'll actually play a lot better because it's really, really distracting, and sometimes you don't even realize it, but that's really up to you. But after that, that's pretty much it for the settings. You can go ahead and turn off cross-platform if you want to down here in the settings all the way at the bottom. If you only want to play against console players and you don't want to deal with the PC players, you can actually turn that off. And that's pretty much it, guys. So hopefully this video helps you guys out. If you need any more help, be sure to check out some of the other videos on the channel to help you out, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.